1, 2, 3.
Yes, it's the Late Breakfast Show with your host, Bernie J. Mitchell.
Are you in?
Are you in?
Good morning, Vietnam! Hello and welcome to the Late Breakfast Show. We're here and I just pissed off everybody in 90 Maynard with that opening, which I've been dying to do for years. And we've got Jordon, who
Good morning.
used to be a resident here.
I did.
What are you known for, Jordon?
I'm known for helping businesses with Facebook advertising.
And are we happy to see Jordon back?
There
we go.
Thank you, guys.
And what would you like to be known for, Jordon?
I would like to be known for helping 1,000 businesses to generate leads online.
That sounds awesome. So we're this is a very rare, highly commercially focused episode of the Late Breakfast Show because, like a lot of people, have a Facebook page that I spend all day updating, and I'd really like it to contribute towards paying my mortgage.
Great.
And to help focus our podcast today is I'm going to talk about WeShare first, which is
Let's talk about WeShare first because that's a really good page. Actually, do you want to get that one up? We can have a quick look at that one.
I'll whip it out for you, Jordan.
Yeah, good lad.
And also I've got lots of people who are co-working spaces and like that. And if I could suddenly, as a result of this podcast, become the nation's authority on lead generation for co-working spaces, that would dramatically change my...
All these notes on the page are actually just yours.
They are.
I'll just read them out.
Thank you. Just make me look smart. So we've got the WeShare, like the biggest thing to biggest focus of the WeShare community at the moment in a sort of, people giving us money type of way is the WeShare Fest, which is in Paris from the 18th to the 21st. So we need to sell tickets, and a lot of my community, whether in a co-working space or in an organisation like WeShare, they need to.
They need to generate profit. They need to see that when they spend money on ads or spend time on their page, that they're actually going to generate a return on the investment for what it is they do, yeah?
Yep.
Whereas a lot of people these days, they spend, they build up a page, they get lots of likes, they post out content to the fans, but then they look at it and they go, where's the ROI? Where's the actual money that's coming back? And there are so many kind of social media managers and so much information out there about posting content, but where's the lead generation? Where's the sales generation? And how do you go about doing that? So you can prove that when you spend money on the advertising or you spend money on the page, that you can see that it's getting X amount of reach, X amount of clicks, X amount of sales, and generate X amount of income out the other side. So you can balance out the ROI for what you invest to what you get out the other side. Yeah. So someone like this, they've got a great page. It looks really professional. It's got a good number of followers. They've got some good content going out there. So these guys are actually ready for lead generation. Definitely. They've got good credibility on there. They could probably do with a little grey tick, a little verification tick, which you can get in the settings section, because again, that just makes them the authority on what it is they do, and Facebook means they've gone and actually verified the page, so that builds trust.
Is that like the little blue tick you get on Twitter?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so a little blue tick or a little grey tick you can get on here, and it just means that they are the verified people of this particular product or service, so that increases trust.
So do you apply for that in settings?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, so you can go in and they'll kind of ring you up and give you a code, or they'll check the business out if you're a limited company, and then they will actually then grant you access to get it. So it also affects the search ranking as well, like when people search for different things, because that little search bar is going to get more and more important as we go forward. So it will actually increase the ranking on the search bar as well.
Why is the search bar going to get more and more important?
It is because there's more and more people on the platform. Facebook want people to stay inside of their platform rather than going out to another platform to use the search bar. So, it's going to develop more. It did develop quite significantly about a year ago, and they had this really cool thing called Graph Search, but I can't seem to get it back now. But Graph Search was a lot of fun. You could type into that bar. If you had a target audience, say, of personal trainers, you used to be able to type in, men who live in London who like personal training or who are personal trainers.
In a sentence?
Yeah, in a sentence.
Wow.
Yeah, in a string. And you could come up with all these unique strings and actually
So I could have typed in girls I haven't dated and it would have...
Everyone on Facebook. Yeah. All these names come back. But in terms of lead generation for these guys, there's a lot they can do. Do you want me to just kind of run you through a bit of a strategy of what it is they do?
One thing I want to check is this boosting post things, because everyone on this occasion, everyone goes, "Oh, I boosted the post,"
yeah,
and is that
the problem with boosting a post, that little button that they have there for boost post is really just for, and this is no insult to anyone who does it, but it's for people that don't know how to use the advertising platform in the way that they should. So quite naturally, with that boost button, you're not going to have as many options as you do with the advertising platform. It's going to cost you a little bit more as well. I know that obviously you're not getting as much organic reach as what you used to get. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to put budget behind it, but really you're better off spending your time and your money focusing on the actual advertising platform itself, because that's what's going to get you.
So if I put $100 in a boost post, would it be better spent?
Yeah, I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do that. No, I would definitely, because the thing is, what you're going to get back for that, you don't know. You're going to get some likes, shares, comments, that sort of stuff. I would say put it into ads and actually drive the traffic somewhere where you can actually obtain the details and generate the lead and then sell to them. Because at least that way you know that your money has been spent on X and you've got X back, and you've generated whatever from it. So that would be my advice in terms of the boost, is to put that budget behind actually generating leads by using the advertising platform.
This always, because I'm a boost poster.
Yeah.
It just seems like I've got to do something. I'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm experimenting, but I'm just sort of.
That's okay, to go in and to experiment and to have a little play around with it and to get used to it is okay to do that. And if you're boosting and increasing engagement with the people that follow, it's not a bad thing to do. But I think, from the experience that I have nowadays, business owners, so that they look at the pages and they go, this is great, but how can I actually generate business from this? How can I make it work? So I would always say, put it over to that side first, see how that goes, and then make a decision from there.
So let's shoot down our list for.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so there's
the top Facebook.
there's some really So Facebook is like a data center. The amount of information they have on each and every one of us is crazy. They can tell so many things: who we're friends with, where we hang out, what events we go to, what music we like, what books we read, all these sort of things. So from an advertiser's perspective, your ability to place ads right in front of the people that are super relevant to your business has never been done before. There's never been a time of it. It's always been like, keyword based. Whereas now the relevancy is so high that it kind of changes the game, because all of a sudden businesses all over the place have got so many opportunities to be able to actually create well-targeted ads and drive
how
a lot
targeted
of interest.
can you get? Could I get down to like bald-headed men in Hackney wearing Polish t-shirts?
Really targeted. I tell you what. So the first thing here, right? Let's say a company like this, WeShare. Now they look like a well-established organisation. They've got a good number of followers. So chances are they've probably got a good database of either customers or newsletter sign-ups or people that are involved within the business, right? So let's suppose they had a database of 10,000 people, right? What they can actually do is they can take that data, and I suppose they have 10,000 email addresses, they can take that data and they can upload it to Facebook. And when they upload it to Facebook, Facebook will say, hey, WeShare, we've matched that with 9,000 people on our platform. Would you like to show them some adverts? So it means then that if they've got data on their side, they've already got an audience so they can start showing adverts to already, which means they can remarket to the people that are on their list. Now, the relevancy is obviously very high because I'm already receiving information from them in my emails. So when I now go onto Facebook, I can now see their ads as well. So it's just another way of engaging with them. But what becomes even more interesting and when it gets even more clever is when Facebook come back and say, hey, we've matched that with 8,000 people. Here's another 100,000 that look identical to your 8,000. It's called a lookalike audience.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you've got, it's so clever. Like if you've got, data on a particular type of people, like if we go to a business and they know they've got, right, here's 1,000 people that are customers. So they've converted and they're buying. And then we go to Facebook and say, hey, and they, here's that 1,000. They match it with the people on their platform and they say, right, here's another 20,000 that look identical to the people that are already buying from you. The relevancy is so high that it just means that your ads are being placed in front of the people who are most likely to be interested in your business and most likely to convert.
So if I've gone through and clicked, like TechCrunch, fire eating, indoor hang gliding, and I load up my list of people that like that, it will just go around Facebook and find all those people again and say, this is And does the price you pay for that, does it depend on, I don't know, if they're if they're Tesla companies, do I have to Tesla car owners, do I have to pay more money than if they're Ford Fiesta.
No, so the way the money would work is to do with the relevancy. So the aim of the game is that my ads are more relevant to that audience than your ads. And each ad gets a relevancy score out of 10. And the higher you can get it, the more relevant it is. So really you want to be hitting your 8, 9s and your 10s to make it the most relevant. And when it's the most relevant, that's when you're going to get a lower cost per click. You're going to get more reach on the ads, and you're going to get, the ads are going to sustain for longer. So the main aim is just to create good quality content that's relevant to the audience. That's
So the higher the thing, the longer the ad will go for.
Yeah, the more reach it will get, the more comments it will get, the more traffic it will get, the lower cost per click it will get, and really as an advertiser, that's your kind of aim of the game, is to create really super relevant ads in different niches to drive a lot of targeted traffic. So, and lookalikes, especially for an established audience, if they've got data, and creating those lookalike audiences, that's where that's a really, really solid place to start. And that's because with the lookalike as well, you can do, they've got like a little bar and you can go 1% match or 2% match, and the higher you kind of push it out, the more wider spread it gets. So again, part of the testing phase is that you obviously start off super tight and you find people that are really, really similar, and then you start to kind of move it out. But even when you move it out, you can still get really, really good conversions there. We've had campaigns that have gone out as far as 6-7% from the original data source, and yet they're still converting really well. And then the audience is really big, so then you've got a lot of traction to generate a lot of conversions. I mean, you've got to remember there's 1.7 billion people on that platform. Everyone is on there. So in terms of targeting and in terms of actually finding relevant people, custom audiences with data is a really, really good place to start.
So if WeShare's got, how many people is it?
32,000.
32,000 likes. So is a like the same as a follower? Or
it is in this instance, yeah. So a like is a follower. But see, the problem here, the challenge here is that you can have, and this is what happened, years ago, is that, an agency might say, we'll build up your likes and all this sort of stuff. And you can spend money building up likes and you can run like ads, which is fine. And you need to do it for credibility. But then again, when you do that, what's the big difference between the value of a like and the value of a lead? You don't own your Facebook page, Facebook do. If they decide to change the algorithm and all of a sudden your organic reach is down, hey, that's just what it is, right? So really the aim of the game is to try and get information and data from Facebook, so you own those details, and then you can contact those people whenever you want. So that's how I would look at it, is how can we actually extract people from this platform and bring them into our own kind of environment, our marketing community, so we can keep communicating with them the message that we want.
And how could I do that, Jordan?
I'll tell you a really good way of doing it. So I talk about lead ads, because lead ads are one of the newest ways to generate leads on Facebook, and they're really, really exciting. And if we come up with a little combination as well, I think you'll quite like this. So a lead ad, let's suppose you're on your mobile phone and you're on your news feed and you're scrolling through and you see an advert, right? And it has like a little sign up button. Now, when you click that sign up button, rather than being directed to another website where you then see the form to sign up, the form actually pops up within the ad itself, and then your Facebook details, so let's say your name and your email, are already pre-populated in the form, so you don't have to type them out, although you can edit them if you need to, and then you hit submit and that's it. The lead generation process is done. So what they've done is they've massively reduced that whole process down to effectively 2 clicks. Click sign up, click subscribe, you're on the database. So from a business's perspective then, that whole building out a landing page that's separate to Facebook, building out the forms, building out the autoresponders, stuff like that, all of that kind of changes and it stays within Facebook itself. And even now, from split testing the two, like we've got clients at the moment that are running both the lead ads and also driving traffic to the landing page, the difference is huge because people feel more secure when they're not leaving and they can just do it in 2 clicks and then the lead is generated. So if you were going to have...
Is it a security thing or is it like a I can't be bothered thing?
I think it's probably a mixture of both. There is a security thing because obviously that they trust Facebook, so they're staying inside that platform. And then also as well, there is there is definitely a security thing around people not wanting to do it. It's easy as well. Like, if someone is, you have to remember people are on there and they're hanging out. they're liking, they're sharing, they're commenting. So the easier you can make things for them, the better. So the fact that their details are already pre-filled out, and the fact that the form is just there, all they've got to do is click the button again, and they're done. So there's definitely making it easier and shortening that process definitely increases the number of people that sign up for it. And you can add in extra fields as well if you want. It'll pre-populate other information, or you can get them to fill it out, whatever.
So going back to our focus of like, you know, We Share Fest or co-working places like Phil at 90 Main Yard, Phil at Work Hubs, or you know, Paul at 90 Main Yard. How could we adapt that to our situations?
Yeah. I would definitely have a look around what assets the business has. So data is a really good one, as I mentioned earlier. Website traffic is another one. You can put a pixel on your website from Facebook, and they will track the people that go to the website. And then when that person goes back onto Facebook, you can show them ads. That's just basic remarketing.
How do you do the pixel thing? If you just say it really quickly, and we can put a link.
So
in the show notes.
you just go into Business Manager, you hit Tools, Pixels, and then you can generate a Facebook pixel, and it will give you a code. Like, think about like Google Analytics code. It's like that. You just put it on every page of the site, and then it tracks people that come to the site. So if you come to my site, and then you get pixeled on my site, you'll go back onto Facebook, and you'll then see an ad in the news feed for what it is that I do. So and the thing is, that's free to set that up, not running of the ads, but collecting data on the site. So you can do that now. You can go in, generate the pixel now, put it on the site, and it will start to collect data in the background. And that's a really good way to get it off the ground. So if a small business knows that actually people are interested in what it is they're doing, even if they've got a small number of website traffic, you can still then start to remarket to the people that are interested. And on top of that, you can also then do a lookalike. So Facebook will come and say, hey, we've seen that you've had 200 people to your site this month or whatever. We know exactly who they are. Here's another 10,000 that look identical to those 200. Do you want to show them some ads? So they'll start suggesting audiences.
Is there a way to check if that's already set up?
Yeah, I mean, if you go into tools,
I love the way you say just go in. I didn't even know there was Facebook Manager until you told me.
Yeah, business.facebook.com. Have you ever? So yeah,
only since you told me. So
business.facebook.com. It's the Facebook Business Manager, and it's built for businesses.
I don't know why I'm writing this down when we're on a podcast and I'm sitting next to you. Go on.
But it's definitely, it's amazing how many people don't have it set up, which is fine if it's not, but it's good to get it up and running because it's just got a whole heap of tools in there. Because at the moment, if you and I work together, where you have to become friends with the person on Facebook, or they have to add you through the page, through their own personal kind of going into it. So it's better to run it through the Business Manager, because then you can start to use work email addresses and stuff like that. And it just makes things a bit easier when you've got teams and other people involved with the page. So, but when you go into there as well, you can just go into the Ads Manager, Tools, Pixels, and you'll see a line if it's up and running, and it'll say active or not active.
Cool.
So you'll be able to know whether or not it is. So I would say, as a strategy, back to your kind of co-working example, I would look at my assets in the business, data, website traffic. I would see what audiences are available from them, and I would create an offer using a lead ad in order to maybe bring people in, and I would run that lead ad. You could run it on a very small budget for a few days to see how that performs, but all of your leads then go into your actual Facebook page itself. So you can actually go into publishing tools and have a look at leads library, and all your leads will start to collect in there. So you'll start to know straight away. And in terms of the ease of use of getting it set up, it can be very quick and very simple to do and to test. You'd know within a day whether or not it's working, and you haven't had to create any other kind of external pages, or you haven't had to mess around with anything, but you'll know that if people are interested in signing up and actually coming through. So that would be my suggestion.
I've got one more question on that section.
Yeah, go on.
So something we do with these guys and Work Hubs is we run adverts for podcasts.
Yeah.
Because we're like, I think, and you do correct, totally fine to shoot me down.
Yeah.
But I think getting people running an advert for a podcast so people will listen to the podcast and then subscribe. Sorry, subscribe. Is much more fun than buy my. Sign up for a year's membership now.
Yeah.
Are we doing the right thing there, or should we?
What's the process? What does someone actually? Let's suppose that I see your. So you're running ads. You're saying.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? So let's suppose that I see your ad in my newsfeed, right?
And it'll be like listen to the Work Hubs podcast, or listen to We Share Radio.
And then what happens when I click that? Where does it take me?
At the moment, I'm embarrassed to say this. At the moment, it just takes you through to the page where you can listen to the podcast.
Okay, and so where's that stored on? Who's that hosted by?
It's either on the Work Hub's website or like We Share Radio.
And do I have to sign up to actually listen to it, or
You can just click play when you get there.
and can you track how many people have actually played it and how many have actually listened to it from that? So
Yes, but only in the like the podcast application.
okay, so you wouldn't necessarily know that from this ad, X amount of people have actually gone through and watched and watched it.
And I'm hoping people would. I wish I hadn't started this now, because I didn't now realise how badly thought out it is. I'm hoping people would hit subscribe.
Can you, as an idea, can you upload it natively to Facebook? As in, if you could you have a bit of a background and make it into a video and upload it rather than
You could.
The reason that I say that is that website clicks, which is driving people from Facebook to another site, it's increased in cost recently, and the reason is that actually Facebook want you to stay on their platform. It's like they've just bought Masquerade. Have you seen the app Masquerade, where you can do like you put it on someone's face and then like it has Iron Man on their face, or like
Oh, is this like everyone's doing it on Snapchat at the moment?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that sort of thing. But the reason they do that is they want to boost engagement and they want to get more people. It's like stickiness, yeah. So they want to get people sticking to the platform. So they don't want people leaving the platform. So if you can find a way of actually natively uploading it, like I would say for that there, what you've done there, put a bit of a background on like a video and actually just have it over the top, the podcast, upload it as a video ad or a video post in the ad, and then push it out. And from there, let people listen to it within the feeds themselves. That way you're going to get people commenting on it there and then, so you know how many people are commenting on it. You're going to get your video analytics, which will tell you X amount of people watched 10%, X amount of people watched 50%, X amount of people watched 75%. So you can know exactly who's gone through and listened to the whole thing. And you'll get people sharing it, people commenting on it. So you'll get way much more engagement rather than driving them to another page to then listen to it on another website.
Would people listen to a podcast like we're doing now?
Yeah.
On Facebook? I wouldn't, but I don't know.
I would say, yeah. I mean, if you do you watch? So we were talking about Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Because we love Gary Vaynerchuk. Do you watch his videos on Facebook?
Actually, he's probably the only person I watch.
Yeah, and he's got an entire TV show that's dedicated, and he uploads it to a whole lot of other platforms as well. I sit and watch the whole thing through Facebook. I mean, he's got, especially on his video tabs on his page, he's got different categories for different types of videos that he's got, and he's got his Daily V, and he's got his Ask Gary V show, and all these things. So I think yes, people definitely do. Look at Facebook Live. Facebook Live, another one. People scrolling through their news feed, and there's a live feed there from someone else. People do stop and they do engage.
It's only available on Android at the moment. Is that right?
No.
Right.
It's on. I've got an iPhone. It's on an iPhone.
Okay.
You dissing iPhones again?
Yep. What's next?
I would say a really big area to mention, which we are pushing for really, really badly, is video. Video is one of the best performing ads on Facebook. Video. Have you noticed so much has changed with video on Facebook at the moment? If you click onto a video, another one will autoplay, or other videos will be selected beneath it for you to have a look at. It will roll on to the next one. And there were clients that were paying 0.003p per video view, which was like 55,000 video views for £179. I mean, 55,000 people watching your video for less than 180 quid. That's a huge amount of exposure.
It's a steal. It's a shout out of fucking century.
That's a huge amount of exposure for very little. So and the thing about video, when I mention video, like people always think, big production, and think about the storyline. I really don't mean that. I mean, get your iPhone out, get a customer there, and point.
Ripping it up on this is the guy from London Real.
I love that guy.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
Hi.
Yeah.
He just like walks around with his phone, and then sticks on. That's really well done.
Yeah, and the thing is, it is literally just. I mean, we were testing an ad, and we had it was a video testimonial for a client's product, and then we had two side by side. One was professionally shot, and it looked slick. The problem is it looked like an ad, because the thing is, people on Facebook, they're chilling, right? They're hanging out. They don't want to be shown adverts, right? So they kind of know it's an ad. It's a HD. It's professionally shot. It's well cut. We've got another one, which is a client or a customer of the client holding a phone in their bathroom because it was a shower product, literally just giving a testimonial of the product. He looked nervous. It looked cheap, but the performance of how he outdone the other one was like 10-1. You know, like the difference wasn't even just a little bit; it was huge because people like real people and people being real. So it worked really well in that instance. So definitely video.
That's cool. What's next?
Yeah. I think the only
This is like going to Facebook University.
yeah, I'm just kind of throwing it all out there. The other thing is the importance of mobile. Now, you know, where is everyone's attention?
Do we still need to be told? Like, it's so fucking obvious.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, we wouldn't take on a project now unless their website is mobile optimized because it's that much of a big thing, and you'd be amazed at how it crops up every now and again. I check on my phone and I'm like, guys, your website is not mobile optimized. They're like, oh, you know, is it a big thing? Do we need to do that? And it's like, wow, you know, yes, definitely. But the reason I say that is because the site needs to be mobile optimized, but your whole process of how they engage with you should be on mobile. I mean, you know, on the way to here, people on the train, people on the tube, you know, what are they looking at? They're looking at their phones, you know. So it's important that we know that. And actually, wasn't there a day last year where mobile traffic surpassed desktop traffic? I'm sure there was a date by Google in the diary that was like, there's now more mobile searches. It's something like that anyway. But
Don't we just stop and look that up?
Yeah.
Link in the show notes.
Yeah, there is you know, so there's a huge amount of traffic on mobile, so it's just to be aware of that and to know. So I mean, look at this combination here, right? Data with website traffic, lookalike audiences on mobile with video, throwing some lead ads. That there is a winning combination to generating leads and generating sales. And if you follow that type of formula, that is how you're going to actually make it work, and that is how you're going to get really good results, and that is how you're going to get your return on investment when you spend money on ads.
So talking of return on investment, how do you like work out? This must be the money question. How do you work out your budget? Like, depends. And you're not allowed to say depends.
Yeah, I know. It is difficult because the thing is, it depends on the businesses where they are. Oh, I did. I always say to people, right? I always say, if in terms of a budget, in month one, if you can spend between £500 and £1,000, providing you've got that available, then I would suggest spending that, because that's going to show you that's going to allow you to just test a couple of different audiences. It's going to allow you to test a few different ads, and it's going to allow you to actually see a good metric as to whether or not something's working. So
I would think that you need to look at that as in, not I'm buying advertising, it's like I'm paying for market research.
Well, yeah, certainly in month one, I think there's definitely a degree, well, there is always a degree of testing in month one, and you'd be amazed at the research that comes back as well. Like we had a client who was making dresses for what he thought were 25-year-old women, and actually the buyers were 45-year-old women. You know, but we weren't able to know that until we tested. I don't know why I'm
smirking at that. Sorry.
Until we tested the audience. And then we saw that the people that were coming through and that were engaging were buying. And of course, that affected the whole marketing strategy. We would never have got that sort of information back if we hadn't done the testing, which affected then the whole campaign and the whole marketing behind the whole business. So, like I said earlier, it's a data center, and they've got so much information on everyone that once you start to kind of dip your toe in the water and you see what's available in terms of the information, it can affect so many different areas of the business, because you can learn so much about the audience, which then just allows you to go on to improve the campaign, to improve the business, to improve the marketing. And that's a big part of it as well, is people understanding and seeing the value of all of that information that comes back about their audience.
So, have you got an example of how being more accurate in this area would influence another part of your business? Because I know what you mean, but I need some meat for the audience.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, I'll tell you what. I'll give you an example. Right. So we had a client who wasn't really big in a particular industry, but then we started targeting and going after that particular industry and generating some really good sales in it. And the Facebook page itself was looking very, very active within that sector. And they had other companies approach them as a result of the campaign and ask them to get involved with offline events that they were running, or different industry things that were going on, ask them to come and speak at events and stuff like that. So the credibility and the social proof that kind of brewed in the background as a result of the activity on the page and activity on the ads, then led to other opportunities as well. And that's happened a few times in a number of different niches where, as a result of this one thing growing, so many other opportunities have come out of it. Like, we've had companies that have approached bigger sales corporations before to help them do sales, and they wouldn't touch them, but then 6 months later, when they see what's going on and the activity that's going on, they then will. So it does open many other doors, and as well as the kind of front end initial ROI that's received, there's also this lovely asset that's being grown in the background, this big page that gets built out the back of it, this credibility, this authority in that niche. So there is a lot of other things that come out of it in terms of developing the business further down the line.
Cool.
Yeah,
we're gonna wrap up there because I said like that's like 29 minutes of gold. Hang on. So thanks for coming into Jordon.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. We've been drinking. So where can people find you online, Jordon?
So my business is called upbeatagency.com. So you can email me at jordan@upbeatagency.com, or you can go to the site and see lots of little bits on there about client results and Facebook ads and all that sort of stuff.
Do you have a Twitter account and a Facebook account?
I do. I don't really use Twitter as much. On Facebook, it's just Upbeat Agency, and Twitter, Tweets by Upbeat.
So thank you very much for coming into Jordon. Woo!
Thank you.
Please go to berniejmitchell.com/podcast. Bernie would love your feedback and input.